Alright guys, Miasma coming at you for a second time today. That's right, in celebration of the reopening of my channel with our new channel name, which you can find under Chris Miasma, we are going to be doing something I thought was just going to be a little gimmicky deck, but I have found, and much like anyone else who plays it, will find that it is the bane for Break Ride decks, which I absolutely love, especially at my locals where Break Ride is still a big thing. Legion hasn't quite caught on yet. But we have Deletors, starting with Acquire Deletor Igor. Now, I love this starter. Now, I debate what the grade 3 searcher the deck has as well. But Acquire Deletor Igor. When my opponent's Vanguard is deleted, then I can choose to put him into the soul, unflip 1 point of damage, and draw a card. Just great for that last minute hand presence. Plus, also, it just recycles some of my damage for me. Now, for my triggered lineup, we got 4 heals, 8 crits, although I've also been teching recently with stands. I found that criticals work best with me, and I just like them better. Next up, we have, just for diverse art, we have Squeezing Deletor Id, the draw trigger, and Exalting Deletor Maelstol. The variety art throws people off because sometimes they think I'm running 6 draws, like some people do. I do that with some of my decks, but not all of them because I don't find it a practical strategy for every deck. Next up, we got my grade 1s, and now this is something I love because most clans that have a specified name like Deletor, Brawler, Eradicator, things like that don't have these cards. The 8K Vanilla Poisonous Deletor Edda, which I love this fact. It makes for good columns with 12K attackers. There's especially against the deleted Vanguard, which is at 0. It just makes it so much more lethal and causes so much more damage. Next up, we got Idolizing Deletor Gwym. Gwym, when it boosts a unit that hits the Vanguard, when the Vanguard is deleted, if the attack should hit, I can lock a card in their front row. Which Deletors, I mean, they are not like Starvaders. They are not going to do, significant locking or really help you set up for Glendios or blah blah blah, Chaos Breaker, whatever, because you can't use those cards really with this deck. Next up, standard with most decks, since they don't have a quintet wall right now, I have 4 Refusing Deletor Evil. I just love the artwork on him. He's beautiful compared to Palladium. Maybe not as expensive, but I like the creepy vibe that they give off. And last but not least, we have our 10K attacker, Breaking Deletor. I call him Gatrio, or however you pronounce it. I know it's an Italian kind of thing. But yeah, 10K attacker, just standard in most decks like this. Next up, continuing on to our grade 2s, we got 3 Pursuing Deletor Igrot. Their 12K attacker. I love it. Makes for great columns once again with that 8K vanilla. Becomes 20K, which just beautiful once again. Then we got 2 Greedy Deletor Jal. I've actually teched 2 of these into my Starvader deck as well, which I will put up later. But basically it's your, if the attack hits a Vanguard, unflip a point of damage. So I mean, it's good for helping you reuse your resources. Then I have 3 Bloating Deletor Geo. Just their 10K vanilla. I like the way he looks. He's worked well in the deck for me so far, so I have no complaints. Most people say, why a 10K vanilla versus something with a skill? It's mostly just because I like it. I like the way he looks, and it hasn't thrown my deck chemistry off. Alright, and because, Deletors are going to have their Legion in here, we got Jutopos Deletor Gael. Now, the fun thing about him is when my opponent's Vanguard's deleted and he is placed on the rear guard, he locks a front row rear guard. Which, beautiful once again, sets you up perfectly to limit your opponent as far as intercepts go, and all that fun stuff. And finally, the icing on the cake that is this wonderful thing. Our grade 3s. We run 4 Jutapos Leader Zael, the grade 3. When he forms Legion, you can counterblast 2, discard a card from your hand, and delete your opponent's Vanguard. He's great for those last minute, especially after you use Oxes. It's like, okay, this is my endgame card. I'm going to intend to end it. Right? And finally, we have Daunting Deletor Oxes, which I actually love the fact, because look at this. My friends do not like the fact that I point this out. It's a counterblast of 3 non-limit break skill, which means once again he can hit your Vanguard before you can hit limit break, or your break ride, or whatever. He's great at stalling out break ride decks. I love him to death. That's along with Jutapos back there. Break rides given during him. A deleted Vanguard is just like a locked rearguard. They are locked until the end of your opponent's next turn. And with him, if you want to ride over your Vanguard, you must first discard a card. As you know, deleted Vanguard has all of its text stripped away. Which means if it is a break ride and I happen to hit you to 4 damage after having deleted your Vanguard, no break ride skill for you. I feel that's fairly basic. And just like so far with every one of my decks you'll see in the future, until we get, more of these units, I run 4 Harmonix Messiahs as in it. Namely because Stride, once again, triple drive generates hand advantage, plus adding power to that whopping 16,000, and does help. Well, I hope you guys were entertained. And this is Miasma. Subscribe to my channel. There will be more to come. We'll have fight videos, box openings in the future, and possibly a couple giveaways depending on subscribers. Alright, peace out.